Do you suffer from low motivation, fatigue, brain fog, inability to focus, insomnia, depression, and addictive behaviors? If so, you may have a deficiency in dopamine, a neurotransmitter that's super fundamental for helping us stay focused, happy, and alert. Welcome back, Wellness Warriors, to the Entheozen Explorer channel. I'm your host, Caitlin Thompson. Now, supplements can be a great way to increase dopamine levels and help keep us focused, alert, and vibrant. In this video, I'm going to share with you the top supplements to help increase dopamine levels naturally, and some of them may surprise you. Now, there are a number of causes of low dopamine production, including poor diet, stress, and underlying health conditions such as chronic inflammation and obesity. Now, if you want to dive deeper into the real causes of low dopamine production, check out this other video that I made where I talk all about dopamine deficiency, the causes, and how to correct using a multitude of interventions and modalities. In this video, though, I'm only going to be covering the nutritional supplements that help increase dopamine levels naturally. The neurons in our brains synthesize dopamine through a series of steps in a process and starts with the amino acid L-phenylalanine. L-phenylalanine gets converted into L-tyrosine, which then becomes levodopa, and then finally gets converted into dopamine. Now, any of these three precursors can be supplemented with as a way of promoting dopamine production because they are the raw building block materials for the creation of dopamine. Now, some people do like to supplement with the amino acid L-phenylalanine, but others prefer supplementing with tyrosine or levodopa because they're further along in the metabolic processes and it requires less steps and less work for your body to convert the amino acid into dopamine. L-tyrosine is an amino acid that is a building block for a class of molecules called catecholamines, which includes dopamine and norepinephrine. It's tightly regulated by an enzyme called tyrosine hydroxylase. And what this means is that unless you're deficient in tyrosine, taking tyrosine is not likely to result in a big boost of dopamine. That being said, because tyrosine is also a precursor to norepinephrine, it may result in increased norepinephrine levels, which may help with focus, attention, and energy. Mucuna pruriens is a bean that's been used in Indian Ayurvedic medicine for many years, and it contains significant levels of L-dopa, which can be converted into dopamine. It also exhibits neuroprotective effects against stress and oxidative damage that can occur in the brain. Mucuna pruriens is arguably one of the best precursors to supplement with in order to boost dopamine levels because it contains L-dopa, which is the furthest along in the metabolic pathway to becoming dopamine. This means that it requires the least amount of work for your body to convert into dopamine directly. Vitamin B6 is essential for completing the last step of the enzymatic synthetic process of creating dopamine. This is where an enzyme is catalyzing L-dopa into dopamine. Now, scientists allege that the limitation of vitamin B6 is the limiting factor in deciding how much L-dopa is going to get converted into dopamine. Because of this, if you're taking Mucuna pruriens, which is rich in L-dopa, you want to be pairing it with a vitamin B6 to make sure that you're maximizing the amount of L-dopa getting converted into dopamine. It appears that magnesium can help with the symptoms of depression by interacting with both dopamine and serotonin systems in the brain. Omega-3 fatty acids are most commonly supplemented with fish oil, though there are flaxseed and algal oil derivatives available as well. Omega-3 fatty acids are super beneficial for the brain and circulatory systems, and studies suggest that deficiencies in omega-3 fatty acids can contribute to depression symptoms by affecting dopamine and serotonin systems. If you're experiencing dopamine deficiency symptoms, you should definitely consider supplementing with a quality omega-3 fatty acid supplement. Curcumin is the primary medicinal compound found in the turmeric root and is touted for its broad benefits across the brain and body. It has been found to increase levels of dopamine and serotonin in the brain, as well as having antidepressive effects. One thing to note is that curcumin does not have very good bioavailability or absorption unless you combine it with some sort of bioperine or pepperin supplement that is an extract of black pepper. Uridine is a nutrient found commonly in brewer's yeast, and it's super important for maintaining the fragile phospholipid membranes that we have in our neurons. It also acts as a neurite growth factor and promotes the growth and repair of neural structures. Studies have found that supplementation with uridine can increase the levels of dopamine by up to 20%. Iron is an essential nutrient that's important for a number of different things, but especially for the production of the enzyme tyrosine hydroxylase, which we mentioned earlier as being fundamental for converting tyrosine into L-DOPA. Now, if someone has an iron deficiency, it's possible that they also have a tyrosine hydroxylase deficiency, which means that even if they're getting enough tyrosine from their diet or supplements, they might still not be converting enough of it into dopamine because of a lack of this tyrosine hydroxylase enzyme. This is another reason why supplementing with mecunopurians and the L-DOPA contained into it might be better, because it kind of bypasses this biochemical traffic jam that can occur if you're deficient in iron. One thing to keep in mind though is that you can have too much iron. Be sure to always check your iron levels and check with your doctor before supplementing with it. Vitamin D has been shown to increase dopamine levels in the brain and also to reverse the damage to the dopamine system caused by high-fat diets and obesity. Vitamin D deficiencies have been found in those who experience depression, and supplementation with vitamin D is really critical because it's very difficult to get enough vitamin D from just the sunlight these days, especially given its importance for maintaining our overall health and well-being. Ashwagandha is an Ayurvedic herb that is nicknamed the Indian ginseng. It has a wide array of health benefits, from improving sexual health to mood enhancement. Studies have shown strong protective effects from ashwagandha on the brain's dopamine system. SAMe is a molecule that is made in the body and can also be consumed as a supplement. It has a number of benefits, including for osteoarthritis, PMS symptoms, and depression. SAMe appears to provide substantial increases of dopamine in the brain, but some studies suggest that mixing supplements with L-DOPA and SAMe is not necessarily safe. So if you're taking a supplement such as mecunopurians that contains L-DOPA, it's probably best to not combine it with SAMe. Ginkgo biloba is an herb that's been used in Chinese medicine for over 1,000 years for things like asthma, poor circulation, memory problems, and fatigue. Studies have found that supplementation with ginkgo biloba increases dopamine levels in the prefrontal cortex, which is a region of the brain that's fundamental for planning and impulse control. L-theanine is an amino acid found in green tea that's responsible for some of the calming effects. L-theanine can give a mild boost of dopamine while also protecting against the toxic effects of too much dopamine activity. This makes L-theanine great to pair with things like caffeine or excessive stress from dopamine activity, because it can kind of take the edge off of the overstimulating effects. So you may be wondering how you decide which one of these supplements you should take for your increasing dopamine. The dopamine system in the brain is a series of complex feedback loops that interact with other neurotransmitter systems such as serotonin, acetylcholine, GABA, and glutamate systems. This being said, too much dopamine isn't necessarily a good thing, and what we really want is the right amount of dopamine in the right place at the right time. That being said, here at Entheozen, we understand the importance of balance and synergy between all the neurotransmitter systems, especially in how they interact with dopamine. Check out our best-selling product, Transcend. There's a link below in the description if you want to get 20% off your first purchase. And it's a scientifically formulated product that is designed in order to optimize the balance and positive interactions between all the neurotransmitter systems, including dopamine. It includes many of the ingredients that we discussed in this video earlier, including curcumin, L-theanine, macunapurians, vitamin B6, ashwagandha, and more. So check it out in the link below if you're ready to start your journey to dopamine health and balance. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe because every week I come out with new videos that help empower you with actionable information that helps you be the best, most vibrant, and amazing version of yourself. I love you guys. I'll catch you next time. Smile on, my warriors. Mwah. L-tyrosine into L-dopa, yeah. Oops.